Let's embroider design number 9 and show you a whole bunch of things that you can do for setting up this design, be able to move it to where you want it to go, and really have complete control over where your embroidery is going to stitch. So to get to that design, put the USB stick in, go down to embroidery design files and touch OK. We're going into the first folder because it is all the designs 1 through 15, and arrow down to design number 9. Here we go. When we touch OK, now this isn't a very big design. As you can see, it's only got about 1,600 stitches, but it has 4 colors. So with that, I'm going to be able to show you a lot of things about this design. First thing you got to do, first, the hoop that came with your machine is probably what you're going to be using right away, and it is a 240 by 150 hoop size. So it says right here, if you ever forget, it should always be at the bottom of your hoop. Make sure you don't get that inner hoop twist. Then you have, your markings aren't where they're supposed to be at that point. All right, so you notice that this design is small enough, so it recommends a size 80 by 80 hoop. That's an optional hoop size for this machine. If you're doing a lot of designs that require that smaller hoop, might be worth purchasing because guess what? You're not going to be using as much stabilizer. The hoop is much smaller, the smaller stabilizer is cut, and it really is a better hooping for smaller designs. So just do the plus as you go up through the hoop choices until you get to the 240 by 150 hoop. I do see there's 4 colors here, and right now it's going to just stitch right in the middle of our hoop. So where is that really? So we can go ahead and touch Alt, and we can use the ability to trace around the design. Every time I touch plus, it will move the needle to a new corner, and it's showing you which corner it's moving to right here. But the 5th time I touch it, it moves it to the center of that design. So if I have marked right here that that's where the center of my design can be, I'm going to then use the arrows, whoop, not right there. I can use the arrows to move that design down to that exact point, and then even tip my needle down and see if I'm right on the area I want to stitch. Then I might even go around again and make sure I didn't get it too close to like something else. Like, did I get it too close to this stitching? Nope. But the other thing I could do is if I did want to get it closer here, move the needle so it's in that lower corner, then move the design. Oh, no, it's not going to let me do that. Sorry. You're just going to need to move the design down and then check, once again, check the 4 corners and make sure you're not stitching too close here. There we go. That will make it really easy. Now, if I wanted to stitch this whole design in one color and not stop in between and just have like a tone on tone, remember this one is a monochrome feature, and so by highlighting it, it will just take out the stops and sew it all in one color, which there's a time and place for that. If I don't have the ability to hoop this fabric, maybe it was a small piece of fabric I'm adding this design on and it's not hoopable, hoop your stabilizer, lay your fabric down, and you can do what's called a basting in the hoop feature, and you'll see what it's going to do. It would stitch first a little dotted line that's nice and long. It really is easy to take out, and then that way it can hold it or tack it down in place before the design starts to stitch. We will do that in one of our videos. All right, so if we are ready to stitch here, I don't need to rotate it, and I'm not going to do any sizing. So if I'm ready, I can just go ahead and say I am ready to stitch. So I've threaded the machine. I'm going to lower down the presser foot and push the start button. It's going to go ahead and take a few stitches and then stop. It will remind me to cut the thread. Make sure you don't cut the one that's actually attached there. Lower the presser foot down, touch OK, and then touch the go button. When area finishes, you'll notice that it will actually activate the thread cutter. So I'm going to just use my scissors to swipe under just to show you that it was cut. It does tell me to change to a new color. So here's the thing with designs. So sometimes color information does not show up or it's not saved with the design. So this may or may not be the color you want. Sometimes designs come up and it'll be like the face and put purple on. So I don't always go by colors. But on the other hand, one of the things you need to kind of get used to is probably stitching out the design first as a test run and to truly see if you have the color of threads chosen that you would like to stitch. Don't just guess, because sometimes you go, oh gosh, I wish I would have changed that color, and before you know it, it's already done. So it is a good thing to test out. I like that it does remind me to put the presser foot down if I haven't done that. So that's nice, you don't accidentally sew without the presser foot being down. But what you do see, I'm kind of following the directions. I'm putting yellow in next, but I might change up. So you can see that right now, the next color, color 3, is the blue. So it's obvious that the leaves are going to stitch next. So if I want to put a different color on, I know that that would be the time to do it. So some designs are more easily visualized what is going to be stitched where. But look over here. All it shows me is all these different shades of blues and teals. Hard to know exactly by this picture which one is going to stitch. So that would be one that I would test out ahead of time. But there are designs that are a little easier, and you could probably get an idea. Okay, the first one is the beak and eyes, and then it goes to one of the parts that are right here. So it is possible. But until you really feel good and confident about your choices of thread, you might want to do some testing of the designs. All right, good quality thread. We've got embroidery needles in. When do you change embroidery needles? You're going to change them when you so honestly, when a thread breaks or you start to get some looping on your embroidery designs, those are things that indicate just put a new needle in. It's hard to tell people when to put needles in because I honestly don't change them until I have a problem. So if I'm doing good, I kind of just let it go and not think about it until I really need to. If you know it's been a while, then definitely change your needle. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and stitch through this. You do see on screen that you are working on color 3 of 4. And of those, that number, this is not going to take long to stitch at all. These are nice long stitches here, but it really gives a nice effect. This is really pretty. Wasn't that pretty how it just went ahead and accented the flower with those stitches and truly made it come to life? Embroidering can just open up so many more creative opportunities now that you have this fabulous machine.